But like I said, this is weird, like the way ESPN is licensing content from a rival company, because even it just blurs so many lines. Because you could look at Pat McAfee's deal, right? Pat McAfee has so much leverage in his deal that he continuously calls out ESPN live on their own network. This is where this shit get crazy, man. He continuously calls them out live anytime they do some funny shit, because he has just so much fucking leverage. You're gonna hear Pat McAfee basically call out ESPN for the way they're not using the Twitter platform to actually promote some of his shows, or just like him being on College Game Day. Like, it's crazy. Like, we've never seen this before. Like, someone just calling out a mega company like ESPN, and there's really nothing ESPN could even do about it. Again,
no, they just have to eat shit. And
they gotta eat it, because again, they need him, because they're gonna launch their own direct-to-consumer app. And if that shit does not work, man, ESPN could slowly begin to bleed out, because every single year the cable bundle, there's less and less subscribers. It's going down year after year. So that's why
has the Disney bundle really helped them, or no?
No, nothing in streaming could ever help them on the level of the cable bundle. Nothing. It's gonna take years.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? The Hulu, ESPN, Disney bundle that's been like, that they ran with during COVID.
Yeah, but it's not profitable enough. Because think about what they were doing before with the cable bundle. They're basically charging your grandma extra money on her bill for a package that she's never gonna use. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, these channels know they'll never reach back to those heights.
They can, but they're gonna have to find a way within streaming, because remember, they're building their own platforms and they're maintaining it now.
Bro, I disagree, man. I think with the way like TV, like the way entertainment is, who gives a fuck about TV at this point?
Right, but right now streaming has not proven to be profitable. It's only really profitable for Netflix, and they have years into the game. But all these little companies like Peacock, NBC, like they're trying to figure it out, but they're shelling out a lot of money trying to figure it out. Streaming is not profitable, not yet. The only company that's really profitable for is Netflix. It's not profitable for Disney standalone. All these other companies, Universal, all these movie studios that try to come out with their own app, has not been profitable for any of these companies.
You know, Disney came in very arrogant when they entered the streaming business.
Yeah, because they thought that whole legacy card would work under streaming, but streaming is a different interaction with the audience. It's a different interaction versus traditional television. That's why Pat McAfee translates. Like, hold on. Any person that comes in and actually could bring in an audience is valuable. To put like a high price TV anchor that doesn't really have an audience, it does not make any sense anymore.
You know, one thing it is like, people only play to the nostalgia factor too for like a week. People always care about new content, right? So if you're not producing, nobody gives a shit.
True, but ESPN, how very corporate and structured they are, it doesn't really translate well when it comes to streaming. It translates perfect on cable television, because think about it. You flip a channel, right? You have no power within that channel to change the programming, right? Because they're in control. They have that time slot. But only thing you could do is go to the next channel. You could completely get out of that network. See, with streaming, it's not like that. Streaming, you click on the app, there's hundreds of movies, documentaries. There's hundreds of things on these apps.
Unlimited access to whatever you want.
Yeah, so it's a complete different interaction. It's a complete different ball game, and you're really gonna have to produce things that grab people's attention. You can't just put the suit and tie Sports Center guy on and expect to, maintain attention span for like a whole hour. It's just not gonna work. But again, here's Pat McAfee showing you the leverage that he has over ESPN. Watch him talk shit on the air, basically calling out the way ESPN does business. Just check it out.
Games are happening. So I go to X. I'm like, all right, what's going on? Well, let me go to the college football account. This should have me.
Don't tell me.
Nothing. Not a single activity. So then I'm like, well, why would that be the case? So then ESPN's actual account puts out the list, puts out the whole thing. I'm like, thank you, ESPN account. But shouldn't the college football account be doing that? Shouldn't that be
You would
something?
think.
Yeah, definitely.
Shouldn't that be just like a one-stop shop for everything that's going on, especially in this brand new time? You would think it'd be the case. So hopefully that takes place. I think the people running that have no idea what they're doing.
Sure.
But hopefully, inevitably, that'll change.
Or even like highlights. You know, I'm watching a big college game on ESPN. You know, you watch NFL games, you watch NBA, you watch, hey, as soon as something happens, touchdown happens, sack, interception, I can go right to the account, see it, maybe post it myself. None of it.
What about storylines, too? Like storylines like, hey, Georgia, this is a must-win game.
Yeah.
You know, you would think maybe... No, nothing.
The hell are they doing?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. It's 3 million followers, too. That's a pretty big...
It's a big account.
massive.
It's pretty big. At some point, it had to have something, right? Because people don't just follow that for no
I
reason.
mean, nobody's
never know.
probably on X. Who's using X these days?
Yeah, I guess that's could
Dying
be an idea.
platform.
Oh, yeah, I remember that a couple years ago. I was giving a full speech by somebody at ESPN about how we're not using Twitter anymore. Okay? Nobody's on it. And they started putting these numbers up. Look how many people are on YouTube. I'm like, well, you can't just take every Google search number and put that in there. Yep, that's who's on it.
Yes, you can.
Look how many people are on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so every human that has an account, okay, you're going to compete that against Twitter, of course. And then look at TikTok's rise, and look how many little. And Elon bought it. This thing ain't even going to exist on Monday, so don't even do it. It's like, did that one win the presidency? Did this one over here? Did this one? Does this one kind of have a little bit of say, maybe? And do people get all their news from this particular app? I think so. So maybe a little bit more of activity there from ESPN, especially if you're going to own all the rights
Yeah.
to the playoffs.
All the biggest games.
If you're going to spend billions of dollars on this brand new playoff, maybe there should be a vehicle of information on your phone that people can just go to very easily and see it all. But what will we know?
Wow. Have we ever seen that before, man? This guy is straight up calling them out right on live on their own network, and they're paying him.
Yeah, bro. You're right, man. I can't lie. What's right is right. He was right. He was ahead of the curve on Twitter. It seemed like ESPN themselves wanted to play baby gloves when they could have reached a bigger audience.
Correct. And there's also politics with ESPN because, like he said, they're trying to say that all of a sudden, they're trying to say basically all of a sudden Twitter is not relevant anymore because Elon bought it. And I've been noticing a lot with the mainstream media platforms, there's this concerted effort to say Twitter is no longer relevant. We're on this platform now. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Threads. There's like this concerted effort from all the big mainstream publishers to discredit Twitter. And it's crazy. It's almost like they're trying to convince the audience to leave the platform. We've never seen this before. Like not only ESPN is trying to come up with their own direct to consumer app, they're sort of also at the same time in a war with Twitter, especially Elon Musk. It's almost like, I don't know if it's a political thing that's going on, but there's a lot of mainstream media outlets that are trying to downplay Twitter's relevance. This is a very
just
strange
won an
thing.
election too, man.
Yeah, it basically did. And like Pat said, why are these guys ignoring this platform? There's a concerted effort. And especially, have you heard of Blue Sky?
No.
Blue Sky. Yeah, Blue Sky is an app right now that a lot of media, I would say a lot of the beat writers, they're heavily promoting it. I don't know. I've never seen this before. They're all promoting it at the same time. They're trying to say it's better. They're trying to downgrade Twitter, especially after the election. They're trying to downgrade Twitter or downgrade X since Elon bought it. And it's like a concerted effort. It's like you can tell when something's planned. Everyone just happens to talk about something at the same time. It's off. It's off. But again, ESPN, they gotta learn how to cater to their audience. They gotta learn how to cater to their audience.
I just looked it up. It has the same interface as Twitter.
It does, but it's almost like every NBA beat writer, all of a sudden, within the last few, I would say, ever since Trump won the election, there's like a concerted effort to move everyone off that. They all promote either Threads or they say, oh, we don't like the interactions on. All of a sudden, they're downgrading X at the same time. It just looks weird. It looks weird.
Man, I don't want to come off as like this weird conservative, like bullshit, whatever, but it's for sure a lot of politics that play into why they made that decision.
Yeah. And it's funny seeing Pat talk about it here, how ESPN even had a meeting talking about, hey, we're not on X anymore. X has become almost like a, we're red, they're blue. Like, it's a weird thing, but at the same time, ESPN, if they want to go direct to consumer, you have to cater to the audience and where they're at. You
Yeah.
can't just alienate platforms on beliefs. That's just not gonna work in the streaming world.
I mean, in general, bro, dude, like let's be real right now. Like, holy shit, I can't believe you have to say this, but bro, like Twitter is a diverse voice in general.
Yeah, it is right now. It,
Well-
it is. It does have some shaky spots like any other platform, but at the same time, people are not getting kicked off the platform by just
Yeah.
saying something light. Because there's a lot of examples of people saying things extreme, then they remain on the platform, but somebody would say something kind of in the middle and they'll get kicked off. So it's always been inconsistent no matter what platform, but especially on Twitter ever since the pandemic in 2020, it's been kind of iffy. But just going back to this though, it shows you that the leverage has completely changed at ESPN. You got Stephen A.
Yeah.
Smith negotiating his contract live on air, like kind of not even live on ESPN's air. They're just live in general. Stephen A. Smith has been negotiating his contract in public for a good minute now. You know what I mean? He's saying the amount he should make. He should be the highest paid person. He said, hell, I might go on into late night television. I might get into politics. Like, we've never seen. ESPN has lost complete leverage over their own talent. And this deal with TNT getting the Inside NBA, possibly getting a panel of funny, guys like Charles Barkley, Shaq. They can technically talk shit about ESPN live on their own network, and there's really nothing they could do about it. There's really nothing. They need that show going into streaming. Next,
100%.
yeah, next fall, ESPN going in direct to consumer with their own app. That shit is it's such a big play. That shit has to work.
You think they're gonna bring back my boy Skip Bayless?
Hell, who knows? Who knows? If the thing is now, whoever they bring back, they have to garner an audience. You can't just show up and think they're gonna pay you millions of dollars, and then your numbers, it doesn't show that you actually bought into an audience to the app.
But you gotta think, man. That's home.
It is home, but the business doesn't work like that anymore.
Yeah.
The business does not like even CNN. They're thinking about letting go of legacy analysts because they don't bring in any numbers.
That is true, but I mean, the thing is, I don't want to The thing is, Skip Bayless is in his own league when it comes to personality. Like, that guy was personality in ESPN before we talked about personalities,
Yeah, he is, but he might be a dying breed. Even though he is an innovator, Skip is definitely an innovator in the space.
He's brilliant.
He's brilliant, but at the end of the day, he's gonna have to translate. There is no you're a legacy guy. What's the legacy guy that used to work at ESPN? The football guy, Boomer. He used to go back.
Yeah.
That they can't bring that guy on, even though he's legendary. He's a legendary voice on ESPN. If he does not bring in numbers and bring in an audience, he does not work for the business. That's how the business works now. You could be a legendary personality, but they can't just put on a random person in front of an audience on streaming and expect it to translate to numbers. That person is actually gonna have to already bring in an audience. That's why you see Skip Bayless have his own YouTube show. Shannon Sharp, they bought in. He has his own shows with FS1. They're bringing in people who already have an audience. That's the business they're in now. And it shows you the inside the NBA, they want to bring in that audience. Hey, people love your show over there. We're willing to overlook that TNT is our competition. We're willing to work with them now.
Yeah.
This is a very, like I said, this is a very unique space and time right now, man. There's a lot going on with these deals. These deals kind of expose a lot of different things, man. It's kind of crazy. And just seeing Netflix, the power that they have with the Jake Paul and Tyson fight. Again, they brought over 65 million people from around the world to watch one event at the same time, man. That is crazy.
Yeah, dude, that event. You watched it, by the way?
Nah, I heard about it. Even though the event sounds like it was shit, at the end of the day, it proved how powerful it could be.
Bro, it was bound to be shit, but the thing is, you got two of the biggest names in boxing. Mike Tyson, obviously a big name, and Jake Paul, he's he's been an influencer for what, a decade now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was bound to
Again, yep.
it was bound to blow up the internet.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely did. Netflix couldn't even keep up with the streaming. But now,
Oh yeah.
what's even possibly could be bigger than that is the NFL Christmas with Beyonce. That's their next test in this whole live streaming phase. They're gonna have to try to make sure that they don't have the same hiccups as the Tyson Jake Paul fight for the Beyonce NFL Christmas.
And by the way,
Ratings for that is gonna be through the roof.
can I be honest? I think NBA on Christmas is dead.
Yeah, like the NFL, I'm not gonna lie, man. When I heard that Beyonce announcement, oh man, I was like, wow. They basically took Christmas, man.
They took Christmas from basketball.
Yeah, and the reason why they took Christmas because they're gonna have an influx of casuals. Like that's really the main audience. You're always gonna have the
Yeah.
loyal following of whoever follows the sport, but the influx of casuals is what gets you over the top. And the Beyonce thing and the Taylor Swift thing, that gets the NFL over the top, man. You gotta
Dude, it's
have
gonna
the
be their
casuals
second
in
biggest
there.
event. It's gonna be their second biggest event after the Super Bowl,
Yeah, like
and they're going for it.
Because in the NBA we're always hearing about the casuals. Like people are annoyed by the casuals, but the casuals is what makes a sport popular.
Yep,
Influx of
it needs to
them.
be a cultural phenomenon.
Yep,
If it's not a cultural phenomenon, nobody cares.
exactly. And Beyonce with the NFL on Christmas on Netflix is going to get a global audience from around the world, man. That is hard to compete with. That is hard to
100%.
compete with. Yeah, so yeah, the landscape is definitely changing media. Stephen A. Smith, this is gonna be interesting. I'm not sure if they renewed his contract, but it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out, man. Because that guy is already walking around like, like he's the show, and he knows it. He really is. He has all the leverage. He has all the leverage, man. I wouldn't be shocked if Stephen A. Smith ends up getting paid like 30 mil a year. Like he could make like NFL money, like as if he's like on a max deal as an NBA player. Like it's crazy, man. The way the landscape has changed, it is crazy. ESPN can actually make more money than they ever did with cable if they get their streaming app launched correctly. If it works out well, they're gonna make way more money.
Yes.
But if it strikes out, man, that could be the beginning end of that network, man. Seriously.